Hey guys, welcome to the first fully sponsored episode of Hype RC. And if you didn't guess, yes, Furitek USA is starting to collaborate with my channel. They opened up shop here in my home state of Indiana, so I am super excited about that. They sent me something out of the class, which is the hottest thing going in RC right now, and that is 18th scale crawlers. They sent me this HobbyPlus CR18P EVO. I am super excited to get it out of the box and test run it. Now, I already have 10 other crawlers in the 18th scale class, and it's really big, and I think I know the two biggest reasons why. Number one, it fits a really neat niche between the 1/24th and 1/10th scale that allows you to be able to crawl these rigs inside and out, so you can play with these all year round. And the second thing is the aftermarket companies have gone in head first on doing upgrades for these rigs. You can get anything you want, from motors to wheels, tires, links, and everything in between. I'm super excited to get this thing out of the box and check out the features, which don't come in a lot of the other 18 scale class, so stick around and check it out. All right guys, let's take an up close look at what comes out of the box. So of course you get your rig. I've got mine in the Harvester in the red. Very nice rig. You get a small Phillips head screwdriver, a standard T-wrench, a set of body clips, a 2S USB charger, and what looks just like an FMS V1 controller. This is actually one of my favorite controllers with the dip switches on it. Very nice, very easy to use, and a very nice instruction manual with exploded views, part numbers, and how-tos in it. So let's go ahead and take an up-close look at the rig itself. All right, guys, let's take an up-close look at the CR18P EVO. I got mine in the Harvester body. It's kind of a dark candy apple red. Very nice looking. I grew up across the street from a guy that rebuilt one of these power wagons, so it will always be a classic to me. But they did a very, very nice job with some details on this. It does come with lights in the front and the rear. Now, the roll bar is set up for lights, but it doesn't actually come with any in it. I like the detail of these little rear view mirrors, and I love the fact that they did keep the windows cleared out and not just put a sticker on them. They got the light cables tucked up and taped up very nicely on the inside. So let's go ahead and take an up close look at the rig. So we'll start off with the powertrain. They did put a 130 motor with a 100 turn on a 2-speed transmission. This is all metal geared throughout. This is a 2-in-1 receiver with a 600 milliamp 2S battery. It does have the extra servo, so you can shift this transmission on the fly with a sealed up power button on it. It is a 3-link in the front, a 4-link in the rear. It does come with metal diffs, metal portals all the way through. I did strip this down and go ahead and take a look at all those metal gears, and they were actually lubed up very nice from the factory. It comes with a 1.2 wheel and tire, which I'm starting to become a big fan of these because you have less sidewall, so when you are side hilling you don't get as much roll on these tires. So these are actually feel pretty good. Looks like we've got some foam inside them. It does come with a decent servo mounted to the frame up front. Very nice bumper. Looks like it's already ready for a small winch to go in the front of it. And all in all, I'm going to say this is super nice. The two things that have me the most excited about this right now is the fact that this is the only rig that comes with portal axles and a 2-speed transmission in the 18th scale. And a lot of the problems with some of the 18th scale is this pumpkin diff hitting on things. So this has a ton of clearance, and I really like the way that the chassis set up. This is an aluminum anodized ladder frame. So let's go ahead and get this battery charged up and get this dude out on the rocks. Alright guys, let's talk about how the HobbyPlus CR18P EVO performed out there. It did very, very well. Matter of fact, it did something that none of my other 18th scale rigs box stock have done, and that was run the back half of the 10th scale course backwards with flying color. So I am super impressed with this rig out of the box. So let's talk about the pros and the cons of this rig. The number one pro for this rig is the 2-speed transmission. You can trail this rig and you can crawl this rig and you can go right back to trailing this rig with the flip of the switch on the remote. That is something that you don't find on any other 18th scale crawler. The second pro to this rig is that it comes with all metal gears in the transmission and the portals, and that's something you generally have to upgrade to in other models. They came very well lubricated and greased right out of the box, so that is a huge plus for this rig. Next, the aluminum anodized chassis is very nice. It comes with a lot of shock mounting locations to be able to try to tune in the suspension on this rig. That is another huge plus. The controller for this rig is absolutely one of my favorite smaller scale crawling rig controllers. I was so upset when they switched out on FMS and lost the dip switches on this. This is a 4-channel receiver combo, and it just is able to do everything right from the remote. It's very easy and very light in the hand. You can do it one-handed, just super easy. So this is absolutely a major plus. I will not be switching out to another receiver for this rig. And then last thing is, I didn't have to go and chop this body up right out of the box. Almost all of my 10th scale, 18th scale, and 24th scale crawlers, one of the first things you have to do to get it to run right is start chopping up the body to be able to get full articulation. With this one, I didn't have to cut anything off the body at all. As a matter of fact, you could actually go with a little bit larger tire and still not have to cut this rig up. So that is just awesome right out of the box. Let's talk about a few of the cons with this rig. The number one con for this rig are the friction shocks. They are something that needs to be addressed and upgraded. This is basically a log wagon bouncing down the trails. It will help performance on this rig in a major way. The next con is the light plug. It's in an inconvenient spot directly behind the motor, so when you're changing the batteries and working on this rig, it's something that it's just a pain in the butt to do. So I don't particularly care for the way that that was set up out of the factory. The next con, which isn't a con for me, but a lot of people like to look at it in a different light, is they don't like the Phillips head screwdrivers. I do not recommend using the factory screwdriver on these screws. You're either going to end up stripping the screwdriver or stripping the heads of the screws and cause yourself a major headache. Go out and purchase yourself a nice micro Phillips head screwdriver, and it will alleviate a lot of those issues. The next one is also something that can be a pro or a con depending on how you run your rig, and that's that it comes with bushings. I understand at this price point why it comes with bushings, and if you're going to run this thing in the muck, in the mud, in the creeks, and just down and dirty, then you want to leave those bushings in. So it's not a con at all. But if you want to get the most performance out of this rig, a nice set of seal bearings from like Fast Eddies will go a very long way with helping performance on this rig. So I'd like to thank Furitek for sponsoring my channel and sending me this rig out here to test. You can get Furitek products directly out of the USA with Furitek USA. They're smack dab in the middle of the United States in Indiana, so they can ship easily to any part of the United States, and you don't have to pay that shipping cost from Furitek overseas. So it's definitely something I think you should look into, especially if you're going to pre-order like the new FX 118. It's like a $16 or $17 shipping charge that you get charged, where you don't have to pay any shipping charge for that rig. I've got that one on pre-order. I can't wait to see how much better it performs than this rig, so I can't wait to get that in hand. They are a sister company with Healy Direct, which also is basically the exact same company. They have a lot of nice products, a lot of good revenue and things for Indiana come out of there. So take a look and check those two out. Don't forget to support your local hobby shops. Bash, Crow, Pete. Hit your subscribe and like button for me and ring that bell so you can catch my next video. We'll see you next time.